welcome to the first episode of GSOF Partners in the Fight. We know that so many SOF missions and capabilities would not be possible without the support of passionate and talented industry, and we wanted to create this series to share some of those stories. I'm here today with my partner in partners, Mr. Steve Jones. Steve, who are we talking to today?
Today we're talking to one of our small business partners, Descartes Labs. They really jumped out to me as a good candidate for Global SOF Partners in the Fight. They're doing a lot of amazing work with the SOF community, and they made some impressive adaptations to support the fight against coronavirus. Today we have Dr. Mike Warren. He's the CTO and co-founder of Descartes Labs. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why don't you give us a brief overview of Descartes Labs?
Descartes Labs is over 5 years old now. We're a startup that spun out of Los Alamos National Laboratory, and we develop software and services to help understand the tremendous amount of observational data that we collect every day about the world.
So how do you apply that to the special operations community?
Well, special operations is like many of our commercial clients. It's a matter of really understanding the tremendous amount of information that exists out there and filtering it down to what's immediately actionable in the situation that you're in. So a lot of data could be very useful, but it's not helpful if it's sitting somewhere else on a desk. It has to be the right data at the right time. So that's what we've really focused on in trying to expand the capabilities and the different modalities of sensors beyond optical to really understand your immediate environment. One of our more mature products right now is a fire detector. We've deployed that in the western United States to look for wildfires, but it has more broad applicability. But we can identify a heat source that's large, over an entire hemisphere within a few minutes. One of our newest data sets is actually radar from orbit, and we process that in a couple of different ways, which can be very useful in mapping water. So looking to see if different roads or ways you might want to transit an area would be passable. We can use these different types of data sets to really offer data that's beyond what you can see just in the visual bands.
A big topic as always, but especially right now, is preparing the U.S. and its partner nations on how to fight near-peer threats. Is Descartes Labs doing anything to support that effort?
Yes, it is. And one of the things that we found very powerful is to be able to collect all the data all the time so that you don't have to know where to look for the threats. You're watching everywhere without regard to what your own biases are, so that when those unanticipated events happen, you have the information at your fingertips rather than having to wait hours or days to go out and collect that information.
I see that you guys are doing a lot with the help with the coronavirus pandemic. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you were able to shift focus so fast?
Yeah, that's an interesting data source, which is a collection of position reports from people's smartphones. So those are anonymized and collected by a number of companies. But with the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic, we saw that the analytics processing we could apply to those position reports would provide some very useful information to the public health authorities about how people's movements and mobility had changed after some of these stay-at-home and shelter-in-place orders came out. From mid-March to early April, we saw that mobility fall by typically around 80% across the country. And that gave people a lot of confidence that these administrative policies were having an effect.
Where could people go to access those statistics?
We have that linked from our website, DescartesLabs.com. We also have the data published every day at our GitHub repository, which is at github.com/DescartesLabs.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to support the SOF community and the world at large. We're very honored to have Descartes Labs as a corporate partner, and stay safe out there.